Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our ongoing series on organizational and business protections frameworks. If you worked with me on our previous legal and operational deep dives, you already know how passionate I am about building resilient systems. Today, we are trying everything together by exploring the highest level of corporate oversight, business, and strategy risk management. My name is Zaskia Meca Zumar, representing University Technocrat Indonesia with a majors management. Over the next 10 minutes, we are going to look at how business can successfully navigate massive market uncertainties. We'll discuss why high-level strategies failure occur, look at an iconic case study of a global giant that collapsed due to slow decision-making, and outline how you can use strategy forecasting to turn potential threats into competitive business opportunity-led opportunities. Let's hit start and dive right in. Let's begin by defining the foundational care of our topic. What exactly is risk management? Formally, risk management is the continuous structured process of identifying, assessing, and handling potential risks proactively before they are negatively impact your business goals. Look at the imagery on your screen. Risk management acts exactly like an umbrella during an expected downpour. The storm cloud represents market volatility, economic safe, or competitive pressures. You cannot always stop the rain from falling, but by standing prepared with an umbrella, you stay processed. Why is the so vital for economic survival? It serves a dual purpose. First, it allows you to completely avoid catastrophic financial loss. Second, and more importantly, it actually empowers your leadership team to recognize and safely take advantage of hidden opportunity within the market. It is three-step journey recognizing risks, accessing their wake, and actively managing them. To effectively protect an enterprise, we must first understand that threats come from many different directions. Business risks are generally divided into several core types. First, we have operational risks, which happen due to structural descriptions in your internal daily business process. Second is financial risk, which involves unpredictable, dictable market fluctuations, currency change, and liquidity problems. They can essentially mess with a company's stability. Third is reputation risk, which is directly tied to your company public image, brand equity, and customer trust. Fourth is legal risk, which stem from students a sudden change in government regulations or compliance issue. And the focus our sessions today is strategy risks. These occur when there is a fundamental mistake or blind spot in company long-term business directions. Let's look closer at what they mean. What makes strategies risks unique is that it is directly tied to high-level leadership decisions and long-term business decisions directions that can affect its a company's multi-year sustainability. It's fundamentally multi-year sustainability. It fundamentally happens when your chosen business strategy fails to match the actual market conditions or changing environmental reality around you. Let's look at the textbook example of a strategy risk. Entering a completely new geographical market without conducting enough deep localized research. When a corporate leadership team moves blindly, They often ignore unique local consumer needs, hidden regional competitions, or complex local regulations. The result, the entire strategy fails, and massive capital investment don't pay off. These high-level strategies failure completely crush a company finance and global reputations. That is why a thorough multi-layer analysis is mandatory before executing any major strategy pivot. So, how do we catch these strategy traits before they ruin our business plan? We initiate a robust risk identification process. This is all about gathering high quality information from diverse sources, brainstorming actively with your core team, and leaning on structured checklists and past industry experience to recognize potential threats early. To do this strictly across all business units, you cannot rely on just one method. You must utilize different data collections techniques such as one-on-one interview, broad survey, and deep historical document analysis. To best practice, here are the vital. First, organize dedicated brainstorming session with cross-divisional teams. Why? Because your marketing team sees trades very differently than your finance or IT teams, giving you multiply perspective. Second, use historical checklists and past experience as a structured guide to ensure no common industry pitfalls are forgotten. Next is once you have a comprehensive list of potential threats, your next step is risk assessment and prioritizing. You cannot treat every single risk with the same level of urgency of your resources will be stretched too thin. To manage this, you must evaluate its risk based on two specific metrics: the probability or likelihood of it happening and the magnitude of the impact it will have on your business goals if it does occur. This is where the risk matrix come in. By plotting risks on a matrix, you instantly categorize them into high risk, medium risk, or low risk zones. This makes your handling and mitigation priorities crit, uh, crystal crystal clear. Look at this critical statistic on the slide. 70% of the business failures come from risks that go completely undirected or ignored early. On proactive early detections using a matrix is literally the dividing line between business survival and corporate bankruptcy. After mapping and prioritizing your risks, how do you handle them? To deploy a tailored risk mitigation strategy. In general corporate governance, these are four classic ways to handle a prioritized risk. First, you can avoid the risk. Second, you can reduce risk. Third, you can transfer risk. And fourth, you can exacerbate risk. Next, to understand the absolute gravity or strategy risks, let's look at an unforgettable real-world case study. A global risk management study confirmed, confirmed that 70% of major business failures are caused directly by strategy risks that were not addressed in time. The ultimate example of this is the Kodak case from the 1990 years. For decides, Kodak completely dominates the global photographic film industry. Ironically, an engineer at Kodak actually invented the very first digital camera. However, the company high-level leadership support from several strategy planners. They completely ignored the strategy risks of using digital technology because raising they were terrified it would disrupt and cannibalize their highly profitability film business. Because they chose to protect the past instead of innovating for the future, nimbler competitors aggressively took over this digital market, leading to Kodak's eventual bankrupt. The clear lesson from this failure: identify strategy risks early, maintain the courage to constantly innovate, and never ignore shift in global market trends. Slow decisions at the strategy level are fatal. On the flip side, when an organization invests heavily in building an excellence risks framework, the advantages are incredible. First, it systematically minimizes financial loss and provides a stable foundation to support much smarter, data-driven decision making for sustainable long-term business growth. Second is dramatically boost a business critical readiness to face unexpected macroeconomic challenge. When a crisis hits, you aren't panicking. You are executing a pre-planned playbook. Third, it deeply strains the strangeness, the long-term trust of your core business stakeholders, board members, and external investors. Capital flows naturally to company to prove they can safeguard their future. To summarize our main takeaway today, managing risk proactively is the ultimate key to sustained business success. We must understand our specific risk types accurately, assess their potential impact, and apply the mitigation strategies to keep our organization resilient, agile, and growing. So, what is your very first step? Start right now. Begin identifying risks within your business or student organizations today. Gather your team, build a calibrate risk matrix, and draft a concrete, actionable mitigation plan. Keep learning, stay proactive, and take decision actions. That's all I can explain again about risk management. Thank you so much for your time and wonderful attention today. This is the last series about the risk management. Let's open the comment for making insightful decisions and any question you might have. Thank you and see you later for next video. Bye bye.